Hi, folks. This is Mountain Man coming to you from parts unknown. How is everybody doing? I hope you're doing well. And got up about a minute late, but that's okay. This is a multicast going over to Bumble at the same time. So we get some people in. I guess I know how I'm doing, and I hope you all are doing well. On my thumbnail, I got a crash course. What do I mean? I mean, we're going to crash, two cars crashing together? Well, yeah, kind of. But also, you can look at it another way. That people are going through a crash course in what's been going on in their country, how things used to be, how things are supposed to be, and the decrepit condition of how things are. Okay? Getting a crash course in that. But we're also on a heck of a ride, But the people who have been paying attention and know what's going on, we're not as terrified. Remember the picture of the roller coaster people? Group A, Group B. On the one side, the little kids freaking out and screaming their head off, and the older sisters just smiling and having fun because they know what's going on. We're in that class, and we have got to focus and be able to codify in our minds and correlate, cogitate, so we can talk to people and let them know what's happening in a reasonable way. So there is a lot happening. A lot of people coming forward, spilling their guts. A lot of people coming to bat for Mr. T, whether they like acting like they like it or not. And a lot of news organizations are putting forth two sides, both sides of the pancake, so to speak. So remember my pancake talk a couple of years ago. I'll say it again. Hi, Sherry. How you doing? Finding Dory. How are you? Gloria. Robin. KNS Cleanup. Miss Bendersue. Okay, well, let me see. My chats are jumping around a little bit. Where'd Miss Bendersue go? Let's see. Miss Bendersue, you out there, or did I knock that chat off by accident? It's hard to tell. These chats jump around sometimes. Hi, Raven's Wings. How you doing, Debbie? Melinda, Sissy, jet lag. There we go. I got a little control over now. Angel, nice to see you. I must have been seeing things. Had a crooked eye or something. I don't know. But anyway, so let's see if anybody new. If I miss anybody here, my apologies. But we'll keep on going. Now, I want to thank everybody for coming in tonight and everybody who tunes in afterwards. And I welcome aboard to my new subscribers. Make sure you hit that notification bell so you know when I go live. So I will discuss a little bit about what's going on. I talked about that situation strictly as an awakening point for the greater public, okay? Not as a fan or anything, but I was talking about and have talked about in the past about Disney and all the affiliated media companies they own or can influence. And we talked about that latest. See, the Star Wars thing, it's not a childish thing to discuss. It's a serious cultural event that spans generations. When did the first one come out? 1977? So somebody better at math can tell me how long ago in a galaxy far, far away. I mean, somebody was, 8 or 9 years old in 1977 and saw that film. How old would they be today if they were 15, 16 years old and they saw it when they were early 20s and they saw it when the series came out in the 70s, I guess early 80s after that. But in 77, that was a kind of family movie that impacted multiple generations at the time of its release. You had two or three, well, not two or three, you had probably three or at least three generations, maybe four, that saw it and were kind of amazed and could take your kids to it, and it wasn't terrible and horrible notions and things like that. And so now they're destroying it. And it is something that resonates multi-generationally. Okay? Multi-generationally. Hi, Wayne. Nice to see you, Andrew. Nice to see you, Wakadrillium. Nice to see everybody. Oh, okay. I hope I didn't do anything. Anyway, so, but here's I got a still shot of this. Well, before I put this up, I'll put this up right here. From It Stinks, Nobody's Watching It, This Sucks, This Is No Good. This is the kind of terminology that's starting to come out. Busted, occult, all hail Satan, deep occult inspiration. In this particular video, the guy talks about Baphomet pointing their fingers up in the air. In the other hand, you can't see it, but it's pointing down below because these witches, and that's what they say they are in the movie, say as above, so below, or whatever. Here they are having their little goofy ceremony, and they sing a song, and they got these two little girls. You could and look at the quality of that lighting and the shot itself. The whole, I don't know, but I heard that most of the scenes were dark and difficult to see. And a lot of people say, well, it's to hide the cheap cinematography and cheap CGI. And okay, whatever. It looks like crap to me. I don't like watching movies where we can't see what in the hell's going on. But roughly in the middle there, you see one of the two little girls, and they're chanting up to the sky, and you hear some guttural squeals. And by guttural, I mean S3 actual, and whatever. You know, they're indoctrinating these two kids into their coven. And that's what this is a terminology they use. So this is waking people up to the agenda of the people that are running our media and entertainment. Right here's what I had in my thumbnail. This is one of the people who influenced the production of the film, Dave Filoni. Phony baloney Filoni. This is his blushing bride. The coffee cup says, "Hail Satan." Abortion is healthcare. And these are people making decisions and spending hundreds of millions of dollars to pump out crap, okay? And destroying a viable industry, okay? Destroying the stock, injuring shareholders, affecting people's retirement funds. What are they doing with all this money? How can a business survive driving itself into the ground? The audience score on this on Rotten Tomatoes, which I've just recently tried to understand, it was at 15%, which from every reviewer, everybody I've watched, unheard of. Disaster. Okay? The ones that stank were getting 46, and they were freaking out and laughing over that. 46%, 51%. Oh, this is horrible. Oh, this is the worst one they've ever put out. Well, hold on to your hat, because here we got 15%. And a lot of people were joking, saying this woman here, Mrs. Filoni, I don't know what coven she belonged to, but said she looked like, what was that? A James Caan movie, Misery, where he's tied down to a bed. You cockadoodie, you stay here, and hit him with a sledgehammer in the foot. I don't know. I don't know if you see that or not, but that's what some people were joking about. So it's every goofy, anything that they could do to get their stinking message across, their demonic message across, to influence children. It's coming out. As I said, Star Wars is multi-generational at the time of its release. And by now, look how many age groups and generations it's expanded to and influenced, and people are paying attention. Doctor Who, look here, I hate to shock you all, but remember watching Doctor Who? Okay? Doctor Who's there on the left, all right? He met somebody at a dance or something like that. I don't know, but people aren't watching this crap. They're giving up on it. This is a 60-year-old franchise, okay? Talk about generational reach. So I just figured I'd get that out of the way. You know, I want to ask the chats. I talked the other night about Alex Jones, that they're ordering his stuff being sold. Hi, Melvita. Let's see. David, how you doing? Huh. I think I hit a button the wrong way. I hope not. So anyway, sorry to leave that up so long, but hey, Doctor Who is whatever he's doing. So anyway, Alex Jones, they were going to auction off all his stuff. And I saw a video somebody put out today about it, saying a judge is ordering this and ordering that. But then earlier today, I didn't get a chance to check into it. But this popped up, Latinos for Trump. And yes, that is a thing. Latinos for Trump is a thing, as the Bidens are finding out Alex Jones did nothing wrong. Well, here's what they put up. Judge dismisses InfoWars bankruptcy. Alex Jones releases statement after victory in court. Did you all hear this today? Wow. What does that mean? It's the only one I saw. Was this post? Is it an old post? Is it a new post that everybody else hasn't caught up with yet? Because you know they're not going to put out any good news for conservatives right away on their bulletins, like this one that I got popping up on my phone. They put this garbage out. Clarence Thomas gets a Supreme Court boost. Oh, one day ago. The justice has gained favor with voters despite all the controversies he has faced recently over failing to disclose gifts. Well, that's because the people can see through your crap, Newsweek. Okay? Yeah, he's going up. Damn Skippy straight, he's going up. He's going to keep going up too, especially when he straightens out along with the other justices that have a brain in their head, what they've been doing to our political system, okay? Right here. Ask yourself, why you've been encouraged to look up to the man on the left instead of the man on the right. Yeah, ask yourself. And, you know, the first thing they need to do is commute that sentence of Chauvin. You know, the guy, we've seen the autopsy reports. I've seen the video from the other angle showing he did not have his knee on his neck. The guy died from an overdose. That police officer could not have saved him if he gave him a big wet kiss, mouth to mouth, whatever. Okay? You ingest so much poison, you're going to harm yourself in an irreparable way, and that's exactly what happened. So anyway, so I didn't hear about, here, like this kind of news report. Republicans cheer Supreme Court ending Trump policy. Republicans celebrated on Friday after the U.S. Supreme Court overturned a policy on bump stocks, even though it was put in place under Donald Trump. Well, I remember when he did that. And I called a friend of mine who is a gunsmith, makes guns, been selling guns for years. He said, well, bump stocks are junk anyway. They're dangerous. It's hard to aim straight with them. It's more of a safety issue than a gun right issue. And it didn't bother him one damn bit. So if it didn't bother him, it didn't bother me because I know he's a Second Amendment guy. He thought they were dangerous to be putting on weapons unless you really knew what you were doing. So at any rate, this reporting, they think it hurts Trump. It doesn't hurt Trump. It makes him look moderate, okay? Moderate to people on the other side of the fence. So what other news reports did they put out on my phone? If I come across it, I'll pop it up on the screen. But happy Father's Day to all the pappies out there. Hope you guys are happy pappies. The guy from Cash Cab on Doctor Who video. Your dog takes your phone, Melvado? Goodness. I don't know, David. I just saw that one report. But they keeping InfoWars going to generate money to pay this so-called judgment. But let me put that back up on the screen. Where did it go? Here we go. Judge dismisses InfoWars bankruptcy. Alex Jones releases statement after victory in court. They may have got a screenshot from some leftist site. I don't know, but they're making it hard on Alex Jones. That's for sure. Here is something I want you all to see. Weird. I'll put this up. Have you all heard about this? Look up. It's okay to goggle this. Have you all ever heard of the Queen of Bulgaria? Who is the Queen of Bulgaria? I'll get back to her in a minute. Does she look familiar to you all? Hi, Angela. All right. So what's the name of the Queen of Bulgaria? And while somebody's looking that up, it's not a Mountain Man quiz, so you can goggle it. I want to play this, a little blast from the past, folks, since we got some people in. A little blast from the past. How many of y'all remember this from back in the day? Let me cut my mic off.
The price of even a small home could be $200,000. And what about their parents trying to make ends meet right now? To stop inflation, we've got to put a ceiling on federal spending. We've got to crack down on waste, and we must lower our tax rates to encourage individual productivity. In California, where I was governor for 8 years, we went from near bankruptcy to financial help. We gave the taxpayers billions of dollars in tax relief, and we met the needs of our people. If we're going to stop inflation, we must do it now, not with bigger government. It takes better government. That's what we owe ourselves and our children. That's why I'm running for president.
Only one man has the proven experience we need. Ronald Reagan for president. Let's make America great again.
Ha ha ha. That's a good find, isn't it? That's a good find. Let's make America great again. Whoa. There we go. Yeah. Anyway, did anybody see the Queen of Bulgaria? Kilonia, Larry says. Well, I don't know. You see the picture on the screen, right? Let me put up another picture for you. Is this real? Wait a second. Let me move this over here. Okay, there she is. And then I'm going to put up another picture that is supposed to be recent. Hold on. Where'd it go? Here we go. Here's the Queen walking with her husband. What are we witnessing here? Can this even be real? After this stuff with Macron's wife, she's suing, by the way, magazines that claim she was a man. Or is this what happens when you run out of achrome? I don't know. I can only say that once. Yes, that's a shovel face. Here's another picture. I'm just wondering, is this real? Can this even be real? Apparently they got a son. And the king ain't looking too much better either. But that's quite a transformation. Wouldn't you say? And is somebody making them wear these sleeveless? I don't know. Look at the hips. I mean, I just say get ready for an awakening. Because what else is coming out? Here's a young lady. Let me find her. A young lady that's putting out videos catching my eye. Her name's Melanie King. Let me see if I can find it. Where you at, Melanie? Here. WTF is happening? Is Brittany Griner a man? Internet goes crazy after videos leak. I've seen some of these videos years ago. With a broken down Jeep, no shirt on, talking like a baritone voice. No way. Watching that video, no way you'd say it was a female basketball player. So you got this stuff coming out of the woodwork and shocking changes in people's appearance. In royalty, no less. Here, did you hear this one? Transgender swimmer Leah Thomas will not be taking an opportunity away from female athlete during 2024 Olympics. The biological male who once won the women's national championship while swimming for Pennsylvania has officially lost a legal battle against World Aquatics, arguing their ban from competing against females was invalid and unlawful. Yeah, you're out of here. You're out of here. And I heard one of the swimmers is demanding an apology for having to share a locker room and witness this person with no clothes on. And I tell you what, I'd take it farther than that. I'd sue. I would go wherever that locker room was. I would go see a magistrate, see the sheriff or whatever, about indecent exposure charges, I would file a civil lawsuit against this thing you're looking at the screen, and I would also go after everybody that permitted it. I mean, we got to start fighting back. It's just that simple. Apology, yeah, okay. That doesn't mean nothing to these animals. Hit them in the pocketbook. I've got one article where a lady did just that. See if I can find it. But a lot of stuff is staying up a lot longer on Utizzle than in the past. In the past, stuff would get taken down so daggone quick. Have you noticed? Speaking of stuff getting taken down, remember when I was talking? Hi, Tennessee, how you doing? Remember when I was talking about, what was it? Christopher Miller, okay? And I was saying that I had an article where he said he felt threatened. Remember that? And I couldn't find it. And I had just saw it. My phone was going to crop it to put it up, and it was gone. Well, I Googled his name, okay, to see if I could find the article. You figure you put in the former Secretary of Defense's name in, you get Christopher Miller, movie producer, Christopher Miller obituary, Christopher Miller, Maryland, Christopher Miller movies. And, you just put in a partial name for Hunter Biden or anybody else that pops right up. Anyway, I put it all in there and looked for it. Didn't find squat beyond the really old articles and stuff on Wikipedia. It's crazy. Here you go. She's suffering from PTSD. Pretty tired of stupid Democrats. That's a good idea for a shirt. Let me see what's going on here. Let's see. Anyway, I'm just still agog. Yeah, Debbie, let's see. They have to tell what they're doing. Did you all see this Piers Morgan interview, Uncensored? Kevin Spacey breaks down as he faces debts of millions. Wait a minute. He did more than talk about his debts of millions. I got a clip that you all might find interesting. Let me put that up. Watch how many things he talks about that we know about, but a lot of people don't. Yeah, I thought he looked different, but he may be going through public humiliation. But anyway, I'll play it for you. I'll see what you see how many hot topics he talks on. I might interrupt it once or twice.
In 2015, I started seeing reports online, things on my Twitter account that I had flown to this guy, Jeffrey Epstein's island, and I had abused young girls. And I was like, if you'd asked me in 2015, maybe even if you'd asked me in 2002, did I know a guy named Jeffrey Epstein? I probably would have said no. Well, of course, I have since learned who he is. And I have since been able to go back and find out that the airplane that we flew on for this humanitarian mission was owned by Jeffrey Epstein. And to then learn, he was actually on some of those flights. And this Maxwell woman was on some of those flights. I didn't know him. I've never spent any time with him. I was with the Clinton Foundation people. That's who I was with. Now, what I understand is that he didn't start to be investigated until 2005 by authorities in Florida. So here's what I can tell you.
Clinton Foundation people, the Maxwell woman, Epstein, okay, young girls. But here's what he can tell us.
This Maxwell woman, she was one of many people that sat down next to me in that throne room. I have no relationship with her. I had no relationship with him. I mean, he's not my friend. I'm not a confidant. I've never spent time with him. And interestingly, I will say this. I was very fortunate that President Clinton introduced me a lot of business leaders in London because he knew I was coming to the Old Vic. And I developed relationships with Robert
Oh, the throne room. About him sitting with the throne room. He sat with many other people in the throne room. How come we haven't seen pictures of you sit with other people in the throne room? And that Clinton, when you're with this group, this crowd of people flying around together on airplanes, you got introduced to a lot of influential and wealthy people. Oh, okay.
Earl, Pula Ladobovich, the Robert Earl, a lot of wonderful people, Sir Richard Caring, people who supported the work that we did at the Old Vic and gave money to us. Do you know who I never asked for anything? Was Jeffrey Epstein. I didn't want to be around this guy because I felt he put the president at risk on that trip to South Africa because there were these young girls. And we were like, who is this guy? So I will say this.
There were young girls on those flights.
There were young girls on those flights, yeah.
Yeah, there were young girls on those flights. Okay. So let's not forget names that we know of, many of you all know of, that a lot of people may never have heard of or forgotten. Remember Isaac? Okay, was his first name. I can't say his first and last name together. His last name is Cappy. K-A and then P-P-Y. Okay. Remember what Lynn Wood used to talk about? Okay. What's going to start bubbling up? So that I think that's the phase we're in, where things are going to be bubbling up. Here we go. You call it conspiracy theories. I call it sharing the news 6 months in advance. A lot of you folks in the chat know 6 months, nothing. How about 6 years in advance? In case you want to get a screenshot of that, I'll make it smaller so you can share it around with all your friends. You want to say, I told you so. All right, Doug, keep it regulation. I see. So anyway, I stumbled across a lot of other things too that were coming in my feed that I thought was weird. From the opposition. I don't seek the opposition out. I talk about Midas Trash Network. But anyway, I'll show some of that in a minute. But Mr. T put this up from Kid Rock. What was the name of the restaurant? Ruby's, something Ruby's. Anyway, Kid Rock put this where he paid his bill. A vote for Trump is a vote for no tax on tips. Wow, he left her a $400 tip. Can you believe it? The bill was $1,143. Wow. So he left her $400. You better believe she's going to be thinking, or he is going to be thinking about it. But then somebody else did a little copycat. Now, it wasn't as big a bill as Kid Rock had, but still a very generous tip on a $600 bill. 20%. Remember me talking about that? Vote Trump, tax on tips. So now me, I would put $1 on the line and gave him cash on the side. But if I were ever in that position, which I can't say I have been, But anyway, yeah, I hope thousands of people start doing this in restaurants all across the country. Here's the way we see Biden right here. Best postage stamp ever. But they have got their minions in the media everywhere. Here, they're trying to make him look good here. Somebody said, put a caption to this. Put a caption to this. First word came to my mind was rubber face. Rubber face. Look at that picture of Biden. Somebody else put jail, fail, and then jail. So how they portray Biden is well, I want to put this up real quick while I'm on the tip taxes. This is somebody found out of a Punisher comic book. Now the Punisher symbol on his shirt is the same one that's where the symbol I'm using with the Trump hair comes from. And that's the Punisher with his icon on his shirt. And he says, I don't pay taxes. So let's see. Somebody else put this up, said, caption this. Get your eyeballs ready, folks. Get bleach ready for your eyeballs. You know, when we sit there and tell people that there are weirdos, Satanists, sycophants, whatever you want to call them, they're going to be detrimental to kids. They don't believe you. Show them this, okay? That is apparently a biological male with a basketball or something stuck in his leotards and a doll enchantment with dolls, I guess. Don't want to use the word FETI and then SH, but that's what it looks like. But you can see all the other crap around them. How'd you like that? Take your 8 or 9-year-old to school and there's the teacher. Okay? How'd you like that? Or preschool or whatever. Well, it's happening. People say it doesn't happen. I believe in God. You believe in fairy tales. Prove it. I believe I'm a woman. Yes, of course. When are these characters going to wake the hell up? They think in dichotomy. You know, it's funny to see. I was watching somebody very briefly, then I cut it off, doing a discussion about the Star Wars movie I was talking about earlier. The picture of the guy talking was a little screen down at the bottom, and the regular screen was filled with scenes from the movie. I said, well, let me see what this guy's saying about this new Star Wars thing. I clicked on it and listened to him, and he's saying, all these people that are picking on this movie, have you even gone to see the movie? He was sticking up for this garbage movie with 15% Rotten Tomato score, lowest ever. And I looked down at the picture of who he was. He looked to be a middle-aged man with a beard, overweight, dressed in I thought it was a hoodie, but it was a furry outfit. And he's having a hissy fit, sticking up for this garbage movie they put out. So I just clicked it off. Don't respond to them. Don't put anything in comments. It just feeds their sickness. Here we go. The Christians are going to take over the government and impose their religion on everyone. Look what they did to the White House. That's not photoshopped, except for the Black Lives Matter flag. But they did the rainbow crap around the Capitol and the White House. We've all seen pictures of that celebration at the White House. So then they had this report, breaking chaos after, quote, chemical agent released at Pride event leaves several injured and sparks a mass exodus from a Pride event. And I thought, you know what? I bet you was one of them did it to themselves because they love being victims. And I said, well, I can't prove that, 15 minutes later, I see Frank on NPC show put this up on a thumbnail. Democratic commissioner nominee arrested in Texas for staging rage attacks on himself to frame Republican opponent. Just saying, how many times have you seen it happen? They attack their own churches. Okay, they attack their own. What was the one threw a brick through a gay restaurant, and he just happened to be gay, but he wanted to blame it on straight people. Jussie Smollett. Okay, on and on it goes. So, boom. There it came in there. Right after I was thinking about it. Well, I was reporting on Samuel Alito and that lady who recorded him. Turns out she was a hoaxer. She was a liberal who was trying to set up Alito. If you want to see the report on it, Fox News. Lying liberal targets Supreme Court Justice Alito. So she was making these bold statements. We need to bring America back to God. I mean, there's no middle ground. And Alito was, being nice and saying, well, we do need to get back with God, but we can find common ground. But I think he smelled a rat. So they took maybe 15 to 30 seconds of words from Alito where he was saying we needed to get back to God or agreeing with her statement. Oh, yes, that's very important. Something like that. And made it seem like he's a radical. But she was really a liberal trying to provoke him and get him to say something on tape. And, of course, they buy it hook, line, and sinker. Here's an article they come up with, MSNBC comes up with. Now, if you're just a normal person, and if for some reason you still believe MSNBC, watch. From the flag controversy to the audio tapes involving Supreme Court Justice Samuel Alito. Watch a full-time timeline of events as reported on air on MSNBC. A tape, secret tape, about this radical conservative justice needs to be removed. And all the hundreds and hundreds of photos of Alito, this is the one they pick with a facial expression. They are devious, unrelenting. Here's what they put up, their description of Biden. Acting like this is the way he's behaving while he's making this statement. He never made the statement. He couldn't read this statement. He's proud of his son, Hunter. He's overcoming an addiction. It was something they typed out and handed out. They put it with a photo of Biden where he's not standing there with his mouth hanging open or doing the toddler squat. and making it seem like he's having a conversation. Here's another one. Newsmax, at least they're trying to keep up with it, but a lot of people don't have access to Newsmax. MSDNC, CNN, all those garbage networks have horned their way into every cable package people buy. Newsmax doesn't. They say President Joe Biden's appearance at this week's Group of Seven had diplomatic insiders concerned, with one source repeatedly saying that it's the worst it's ever been. But you don't hear that from MSDNC. They put him up there, act like he's having a relaxed conversation, and is perfectly normal. Ridiculous. Here's another example. They put a picture of him standing there talking, and a quote underneath, like Biden actually spoke these words. He did not speak them. There was a typed press release. In Gaza, innocents are suffering the horrors of war between Hamas and Israel. Too many innocent people. No. No, he can't even read that statement. But you look at that photo, the average person would think that that's the kind of words that can actually come out of that person's mouth. We know better. And when it gets down to debate time, what's the bets? Are we going to have a debate or not? Dan Scavino, where did he put out a statement. There's only one reason why Biden would not agree to a drug test. Only one reason. If I find it, I'll put it up. Regular news going to report on this. G7 leaders condemn China for aiding Russia in its war on Ukraine. Good luck with that. That's what you need to do. Start picking on China. As if there aren't enough problems. China had something to say. Where's it at? Hold on a second. Here we go. Report in the Financial Times Tuesday, or Financial Times, not Tuesday, but Chinese President Xi Jinping said the U.S. is trying to drag China into a war through Taiwan. This is a quote from a meeting with European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen in April 2023. The United States is provoking China by supplying weapons to Taiwan in order to drag it into direct military confrontation with the island. They just reminded us of the Taiwan situation. But what Trump said about Zelensky yesterday, going all around the world, Trump called Zelensky a merchant, which is their translation of the word salesman, and promised to sort out multi-billion-dollar payments to Ukraine if he wins the election. This is a quote from Trump. Zelensky is probably the greatest salesman of all living politicians. Every time he comes to our country, he leaves it with $60 billion, and so on, endlessly. I will deal with this, Trump said. Oh, you better believe he will. Zelensky and them had a meeting in Switzerland. Okay? And word on the street was that Zelensky was acting belligerent and loud and rude. Okay? But Zelensky said he would present peace proposals to Russia as soon as they agreed upon by the international community. Well, remember, I'll get back to that Switzerland meeting in a minute. But remember what I was talking about, that Republic of Georgia passing that Enemies Act or Foreign Influence Act of money there's another bill coming up about gay pride. Gay pride parades in Georgia, the Republic of Georgia, have been canceled in 2024. This year they were canceled by the organizers themselves, citing actions of the Georgian government. However, the law against alphabet propaganda has not been adopted. What do they mean? Okay, this seems innocuous, but you read between the lines. The law that already passed says anybody benefiting from foreign investment, foreign money, they have to report it, especially for media. All right? Propaganda, media. That's why they're not having their parades, because they won't be breaking the anti-alphabet laws. They'll be breaking the laws about accepting money from foreign powers, okay, to conduct psychological operations on the people. Believe me. Here's where they met in Switzerland. A peace conference. Yeah, this is really worth going to some mountainside mansion or whatever that place is. A peace conference over Ukraine is unlikely to silence guns. Serious negotiations are unlikely to begin before the year's end at its earliest. So, The Economist reported the end of 2024 is the most likely time for the start of negotiations between the Russian Federation and Ukraine. The timing and conditions of the ceasefire will be affected in particular by the situation on the battlefield and the results of the U.S. presidential election in November. How many of you all, I'm sure many of you all made note that Trump said explicitly that he would put a stop to the conflict before he takes office. Did you all catch that? Before he takes office. He said that the other day. In where was he? Michigan. And I didn't get a video of this, but Zelensky smashes world record on how many times one can sniff in a press conference. Even foreign media have already noticed that Zelensky is a drug addict. So, the questions are, whose cocaine was that? Was Zelensky at the White House anytime that stuff was going on? Hunter saying, bring me some of that good Azerbaijan stuff. You got access to it. Here's some more of the awakening in our culture. Why is Taylor Swift performing while being trapped inside the belly of a serpent? Nothing to see here. Yeah, that's pretty bizarre. And this was going around. Somebody named Vince Langman. Just to be clear, Hunter Biden should be on trial today for child porn on his laptop. This is on his laptop. Okay? What are we looking at there? 13, 14, 12? Instead, the corrupt Biden DOJ charged him with a minor gun charge so they could claim we have a fair judicial system. And the person that posted this post said, believe me, you don't want to see the rest of that video. So apparently it was more detail than decent people want. Kevin Spacey, Hunter Biden, P. Diddy. Sean Diddy Combs has returned to New York after his key to New York after request from Mayor Eric Adams in response to the release of a video showing him attacking a singer, Cassie. Adams awarded him with a key in a ceremony last year that coincided with the release of a new album. Sean Diddy Combs returns key to New York. And you know, I know, we know, it ain't just because of that video. All the stuff that's been coming out, all the stuff that's been talked about is going to start coming to light. And in case you fathers out there didn't get it from Donald Trump, happy Father's Day to all, including the radical left degenerates that are rapidly bringing the United States of America into third world nation status with their many attempts at trying to influence our sacred court system into breaking to their very sick and dangerous will. We need strength and loyalty to our country and its wonderful Constitution. Everything will be on full display. That's an interesting choice of words. Don't you all think that's an interesting choice of words? Everything will be on full display come November 5th, 2024, the most important day in the history of our country. Make America great again. Everything will be on full display. Well, we see stuff coming forward on display. The world is seeing this one. Look at the Pope from Donald Trump. He's freaking out. This can't be normal, can it? The Babylon Bee even put it out. Now, this picture's going all around the world. Biden disappointed after huge scoop of vanilla ice cream turns out to be Pope Francis. Oh my goodness. Now you want to see a moron before the stream gets too old and doesn't do a video good. You want to see a moron. Now, granted, the one doing the interview is a male, but I believe it's gays against GROOR, okay, MERs. Okay? So they got their feet on the ground, even though he's dressed weird. I'll let you listen to it.
And so I did a study abroad in the Middle East with Israel and Palestine.
Would you say you're pro-Palestine or pro-Israel?
Pro-Palestine.
As a gay man, I would be punished and or put in prison or killed if I were openly gay in Palestine. How do you react to that?
I didn't know that. So
It is illegal to be gay in Palestine. You are punished by prison or death.
Israel?
No, Israel has gay pride. Israel is completely open to lesbian and gay people. Palestine puts them in prison or kills them. You weren't aware of that?
I was not aware of that, no. So that does pose an interesting aspect.
Have you seen the Queers for Palestine movement? It's a very common movement, but I don't see any Muslims for Queer movements.
Yes, that's where it gets gray, right? Like, that's where I feel
Well,
like...
for me, it's not gray. I am fearful of Islam because there is no Islamic country on earth that embraces me as a gay man.
So, okay, so maybe I'm confused because Israel, which is still an Islam country, right?
No, Jewish.
Okay.
So Israel's Jewish, Palestinians are Islamic.
Okay.
So that nitwit did not know that Israel was Jewish. She thought Israel was an Islamic nation until this, and he said, I'm a gay man. He did not claim to be a woman, a transgender. Okay? we've already discussed Liberace, all the people going back to the 1950s that were gay in the film industry and entertainment, and the American people did not persecute them. Matter of fact, enjoyed their performances, treated them very fairly. I would bet you dollars to donuts that this person does not go to the libraries and read to children or do anything bad with children. And it takes somebody like this to confront the person on the right who is so stupid they did not know that Israel is Jewish and not Islamic. And this person may very well be teaching and dumb as a box of rocks. There we go. No, get back to taxing. Babe, what do you want for Christmas? All I want for Christmas is you to be free from the slavery of taxation. Here's another hit piece on Clarence Thomas. No, I already put this one up. Wait a minute. They had something else about Thomas. It's just so old. Now get this. Midas Trash. No, this is NBC. They all play in the same ballpark. They all get their money from the same place. MSNBC. The dangers of Project 2025, the right-wing blueprint for a second Trump term that threatens to wreak havoc on the Department of Justice, consolidate federal power, and ultimately take over the legal structures of our nation. Well, they're sticking Project 2025 in there because they are trying to distract from Agenda 47. If people start Googling it or looking it up and reading about it, they will see that Donald Trump is singing their song. But so they're trying to replace it with this Project 2025. Footage shows Putin's, now get a load of this. Footage shows Putin's new stealth submarine capable of carrying, quote, unstoppable 6,000 mile per hour nukes sailing for the first time. That is hypersonic intercontinental ballistic missiles. We've talked about it in the past. Well, what's the Biden regime's response? To this military buildup right off our coast of Florida? As Russian warships threaten Florida coast, Biden responds decisively to ensure safety of all pride murals. Huh. Well, I got another video for you. Listen closely to this, and I hope it plays nice and clear for you all. This is unequivocal. People that say they want to trust the science, people that say they want to trust doctors, well, you better listen to this.
And we have serious concerns about the physical and mental health effects of the current protocols promoted for the care of children and adolescents in the United States who express discomfort with their biological sex. This declaration was authored by the American College of Pediatricians, but really it was developed from the expertise of hundreds of doctors, researchers, and other healthcare workers and leaders who, for years, have been sounding the alarm on the harmful protocols that continue to be promoted by the medical organizations in the United States. Despite recent revelations from the leaked WPATH files and the recent release of the final report from the CAS review, these medical organizations have not changed course. So we are calling on these medical organizations of the United States, including the American Academy of Pediatrics, the Endocrine Society, the Pediatric Endocrine Society, the American Medical Association, the American Psychological Association, and the American Academy of Child and Adolescent Psychiatry to follow the science and their European colleagues and immediately stop the promotion of social affirmation, puberty blockers, cross-sex hormones, and surgeries for children and adolescents who experience distress over their biological sex. In our declaration, we affirm that sex is a dimorphic, innate trait defined in relation to an organism's biological role in reproduction, male and female. This genetic signature is present in every nucleated somatic cell in the body and is not altered by drugs or surgical interventions. Consideration of these innate differences is critical to the practice of good medicine and to the development of sound policy for children and adults alike. Medical decision-making should be based upon an individual's biological sex. It should respect biological reality and the dignity of the person by compassionately addressing the whole person. We are here defying the claims made by these medical organizations in the US that those of us who are concerned are a minority and that their protocols are consensus. They are not consensus, and we are speaking in a loud, unified voice, enough.
Enough. The vast majority of medical professionals, pediatricians, all the agencies, all the associations she enumerated or put out by name are all adamantly against what they've been doing to children. And as far as I'm concerned, we need to make sure it never happens again. People need to go to jail over some of this stuff. It needs to be called what it is, medical experimentation. I want to remind you all that some, if not all, of the puberty blockers, all right, and the hormones and all this kind of crap they were giving minor children was not allowed by the label, okay, against the law to prescribe something where it is not allowed on the what the FDA had approved them for. So what did the FDA do last year sometime or the year before? They just did a blanket approval. But never mind. They've been doing it for 10 or 15 years, breaking the law. As far as I'm concerned, whoever pushed that approval through, whoever enacted that approval, needs to go to jail. And all the doctors that have been doing it since and before need to be addressed in accordance with the law. Just because some bureaucrat or remember Dr. Kevorkian, okay? What happened to him? He thought he could bypass the law with his medical credentials, and look what happened to Dr. Kevorkian. It's the same thing here. Good night, Robin. That's right, 2.0. So there you have it. Unequivocal. There's a nice little meme for y'all to get a screenshot of. Nobody walks away from this. That's right, they broke their OATH. To do no harm. Been a lot of that going on. Breaking their commitment. I'll put it that way because I'm not allowed to say that word, OATH. Now, let's see. Here for all the doubters. If they're feeling bad or get a little case of Mayo, okay, and the other half of that word is carditis. Remember, I fired thousands of servicemen in the military for not taking the you-know-what, while letting millions of VAX illegals come into our country. Remember this on election day. Remember, folks, of course you will, all the masks, all the plexiglass, tape on the floor, 6 feet apart, stay home, stay safe, all the teachers sitting on their asses, all the kids having to stay home, parents having to make arrangements, weirdos by themselves in a car with angry eyes and a mask on, staring at people if they didn't have one on. Remember all that, don't you? It was all for one thing. All for one thing, to keep you away from the precinct, if you know what I mean. So they could do what they want. So we got to guard the vote. This is a good meme to have. Because who's been pushing it? Who says they're a scientist and isn't a scientist? Who gives out medical advice and makes demands on people and isn't a doctor? Oh, but who's worth billions of dollars and who says that the earth is overpopulated? Oh, I know who it is. It's this creepo right here. It was at this moment that Bill Gates began his mission to depopulate the earth. Hi, Andrew. How you doing? So, I'm going to go ahead and play this video that is very, very telling. Right here. Listen to the first part of it. He tries to fix things towards the end. Towards the end, he tries to fix things. But at the beginning, now this was when Trump was running. At the beginning, he basically says, nobody's going to check if you're a citizen or not. They can't check if you're a citizen or not. There's nowhere that there's no mechanism for them to see whether you're a citizen or not. But then he says, well, if you've got somebody who's not a citizen at home, that's the only reason I'm saying this. So you can protect the one that's at home. But you can read between the lines. You know what he's saying. And this is what I'll close out on. But listen carefully to him. He's slick. He's slick. It's not the first time he's done this either. Anyway, folks, I'll go ahead and shut my mic off and play this for you. But I do want to say thank you for spending your precious time with me. I really do appreciate it. I hope you all have a great night, and I'll be seeing you soon. This is Mountain Man, over and out.
If you want to vote and you show up at your polling place, they can't stop you from voting. They can't stop you from voting. If people want to know how to vote, then you can go to iwillvote.com. The fact of the matter is that we give our power away all the time. You know, we tell ourselves, oh, it's hard, it's not going to matter, it's not going to count. And the powers that be, they're counting on us giving our power away.
Many of the millennials, dreamers, undocumented citizens, and I call them citizens because they contribute to this country, are fearful of voting. So if I vote, will immigration know where I live? Will they come for my family and deport us?
Not true.
Okay.
And the reason is, first of all, when you vote, you are a citizen yourself, and there is not a situation where the voting rolls somehow are transferred over and people start investigating, etc. The sanctity of the vote is strictly confidential in terms of who you voted for. If you have a family member who maybe is undocumented, then you have an even greater reason to vote.
This has been a